Greetings, humans. My name is Josh Smokey Hale Nelson, and this is The Smoke Show. Before we get rolling with our feature interview, please take a moment to hit subscribe on our new YouTube page. With all of our feature interviews available to watch, plus bonus videos and classic collector interviews we drop on Back Fridays, you won't want to miss any of the action. If YouTube is not your preferred consumption method, please hit subscribe on whichever of the fine podcasting platforms you're listening to this on, so you don't miss hearing the perspectives that we present. This podcast is brought to you by the Fantasy Points Media Group. The Fantasy Points Media Group is home of the in-your-face like 97 Mason lineup of shows, including the True North Fantasy Football Podcast, Dynasty Happy Hour, Play to Win, Dynasty Vipers, Injury Prone Podcast, newest edition Campus to Canton, and of course, the Fantasy Points Podcast. And now that the cat is out of the bag, I can shout out the newest members of the Fantasy Points Media Group, the team from Triple Play Fantasy, including friend of the show, Dave Mendelson. To keep up with the constant flow of information, follow the team on Twitter at FantasyPTS Live, and watch out for the weekend review threads that drop every Friday. Speaking of hot shit dropping, I got stuff to give away! To celebrate the release of the Smoke Show's merchandise line on Viridian Global, go to ViridianGlobal.com for all your football fashion needs. We've got a fall giveaway in true Smokey fashion. Now, this giveaway is sponsored in part by the Fantasy Points Media Group. The giveaway is very simple. The first 3 people to sign up at fantasypoints.com with the promo code 21Smokey10 and send me a screenshot not only get 10% off the best bang for your buck from a lineup of professionals that lineups of professionals wish they could be. I mean, names like recent Smoke Show interviewees, John Hansen and Joe Dolan, Greg Cosell, Adam Kaplan, Tom Browley, Graham Barfield, Scott Barrett, Wes Huber, Ben Kukanis. Do these names ring a bell? They should, because they are the all-star cast in the industry. Again, go to fantasypoints.com and use the promo code 21Smokey10. That's 21SMOKEY10. Send me a screenshot. That's it. So easy. The first 3 get a free Smoke Show t-shirt from the new line on ViridianGlobal.com. FantasyPoints.com, promo code 21Smokey10, and get yourself some free swag along with those fantasy points you're after. While you're at it, shoot us a follow on Twitter at @the_smoke_show. And you can follow me at Smokey Hale NFL on Twitter and on the SportsMe app. Talk sports, talk shit. Let's start a conversation. If you don't know, now you know. I think that takes care of the technical shit, man. Let's do this.
Smoke Show!
I'm honored today to welcome onto the Smoke Show a recent addition to the carefully curated cadre of analysts that I follow. Hailing from the home of 2 dope boys in a Cadillac and also recent World Series champions, co-host of FantasyInSession and future doctor of the non-medicinal variety, Mr. Javar Henry. Javar, how the hell are you today?
Let's go. The session meets the Smoke Show. I love it, man. Ooh. I love it. But yeah, shout out to the Atlanta Braves. We did it. We here. One question. What curse? Okay. So, as a Braves fan, we're really excited. We won the World Series without our best pitcher and arguably without the top 5 player in baseball. So the future is looking good.
Toughed it out, got it out. That's a good win, man. That's huge. That's huge. So congratulations to you and the city, man. I haven't had a championship in any of the teams that I've rooted for a little bit here, so I'm just kind of champing at the bit.
It's okay. Just think about the anxiety of like watching the games where the Braves were ahead and just knowing like UGA was ahead, just knowing the Falcons was ahead, just knowing last year the Braves was ahead. So it's just like, we do not need this repeat history. Like, just come through, and they came through. So now I can just breathe, and yeah, I love it, man. Life is different now. Shout out to them.
Yeah, man, you can bask in the glory. You enjoy that shit for at least a year. But I want to take it back, and I want to start this off on April 29th of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Your Atlanta Falcons have just drafted Kyle Pitts 4th overall. Now, what are the thoughts going through your head as a fan in that moment and in the days and months afterwards? Full disclosure, I am a diehard fan of Kyle Anthony Pitts. Everyone watching the video version of this will see I am wearing my Kyle Anthony Pitts Factor shirt from
Oh.
VirginiaGlobal.com. You see that Gators blanket behind me. I've been in on this kid. Javar, what was going through your head when that draft pick happened?
Man, even before the draft pick, when you just read about Pitts and you see his size, his athleticism, and his performance on the field, you just like, wow, this Julio at tight end, like, cool, like let's get Julio at tight end. And he's like 22. It's like, this is great, man. And tight ends play in the league for a long time. And if they're the best, they stay the best for a long time. And just picking Kyle Pitts showed like Falcons, I mean, as horrible as we were 4-5 this year. So we're not doing that great. But it didn't show like the team was going in a rebuild situation. Because if we would have got a quarterback, would have just been it would have been a revolving door. Would have just been in a rebuild after rebuild. Our team needed so much. When we had a quarterback who can produce, he don't have the greatest athleticism of what you need to be a top quarterback in this NFL in today's age, but he's still a good quarterback if you can get your center and your guard to block right in front of him. He's a great quarterback, and that's said for almost any quarterback, but still. So I was happy. I was like, okay, we got Pitts. Where I knew we was going to trade Julio. It's like, we got Pitts. No need to, keep Julio, who doesn't play that much. He hasn't played this much this year. And that's why I was able to, once I seen we got Kyle Pitts, I'm like, Julio's out the door. And they're about to try to build around around a Matt Ryan, since that's where all the money is tied up. And then restructuring and gave Matt Ryan some more money for a couple more years. So, yeah.
No, I agree. Matt Ryan is still a great producer. And hey, was it not a game ago that he ran in a nice little touchdown himself? That was quick little legs. I loved his press conference after. They're asking him, hey, are you fast for this year? He's just plain faced. Nope. It was just losing. Yes, he can admit where his shortcomings are, but no, I agree. Matt Ryan is a great quarterback, and I thought that was kind of an indictment on his skills in a positive way that they didn't go quarterback there because, as you said, there wasn't a need to. But when you weigh the options of, say, you know that Julio's gone before this draft's happened. That came out after the draft happened. That they knew he was gone. So weighing the option between a rookie who's really producing in another big way like Jamar Chase, where you could just basically be swapping out one historic, probably I would say a top 10 receiver of all time in Julio Jones, out with, the future Jamar Chase. How do you weigh the option of those two? And are you pleased with the outcome that they took?
I'm fine with it. I mean, Chase, that would have been lovely, but me personally, I just like Kyle Pitts like as the matchup problem for defenses. That was the major difference between the two. It's like Chase is a wide receiver, he's one of the best when he's out there on that field. But when you got Pitts in the huddle, you can have Pitts in the huddle with one tight end. When they're in the huddle, the defense don't know, is Pitts about to play tight end or is he about to go out wide? So like it gives you an advantage right there from the jump with Pitts on the team. And just when I was calling him baby Travis Kelce, I was like, hey, get him, bring him here. You know what I'm saying? Keep him here. so that's the major difference, was just causing matchup problems for the defense.
No, that's a brilliant call there. That's exactly what he is. He is just a straight up mismatch. And you can line him up anywhere in the formation and he will be successful. He is just big plays waiting to happen. And he's so reliable. I mean, I didn't want to dive into last night's game, but there was one point where he kind of sold his route short, but that wasn't entirely on him when you guys had Rosen back there.
I'm a Falcons fan. I watched a lot. He's an unseasoned player. He's really raw. Like a lot of times, the first 4 games, every time you see him ran a route, his mouthpiece was not in his mouth. I promise you. It's like, bro, come on, man, keep your teeth, okay? You probably paid for him. I don't know. So let's keep him nice. But still, and then like when he'll get the ball, he just running. You could just see it like he's just running. Some of his moves they would make in college to elude an attacker or a defender, I should say. He's not really doing it in the NFL yet. So I just know the sky's the limit. Once he gets seasoned in and just feel comfortable, it's gonna be a wrap for anybody trying to defend him, and it's gonna be lovely for us.
No, absolutely. I'm insanely jealous that you landed my boy, but like I said pre-show, just treat him right. Now, you're originally from Atlanta, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What was your upbringing like? How was sports an influence into the formative years of your life? Did you play any at all?
Yeah. So growing up, my first love was baseball. Just growing up, the outskirts, like right below the airport in Atlanta, in Clayton County. My mother believed in putting me in environments where it was just all black people. So that started with elementary school. Then it leaned into playing baseball. I met a friend. He was playing baseball. I went to one of his games, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it out." And from there on, I played baseball, and I became a Braves fan. I was born in '89, so around about 95, I was old enough to know what was going on, watching them, seeing Chipper, Andrew Jones, Andres Galarraga, David Justice, just so many players. I'm not even gonna mention the pitchers. Everybody know the pitchers from that time on the Braves. So that was my first love. They won ship, and it was just they won 13 pennant races. So how could you not become a Braves fan from that time? And then there wasn't many baseball teams around us, like in Alabama, Mississippi, so it became Braves country. Until this time, to this moment, still half of Virginia is Braves fans. They didn't get DC until like early 2000, I believe, or something like that, little out 2000. DC didn't get a baseball team until then. So half of Virginia is still Braves fan. So it started from there, and then I enjoyed football. I like football. I really became a fan of the Falcons once Jamal Anderson came on. He started doing the Dirty Bird, and it was right from then. My father was a Miami Dolphins fan.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins was trash. I was like, Dad, I'm not watching this. I would rather watch the Falcons do this. Okay. I watched the whole team do this. So I became a Falcons, and yeah, man. And basketball, I like players in basketball. But before Trae Young, of course, my favorite my favorite Hawk to watch was Jason Terry. He was the best player on the team. He could down to do anything in the game. I ain't got to pass. I could shoot. And he was real good and talented. He just had nobody around him. Then he went to Dallas and won the ship. But that was like one of my greatest Hawks players to look at. So that's pretty much what I grew up entrenched in was baseball. Then I grew to love football. I never played basketball like that, but I played football and basketball, on a team or so.
Nice. So in baseball, was there a certain position you played, or were you just kind of all over?
Young, everybody tried to fight to get in the infield because that's where most of the action was. So I always tried to get in the infield younger. But as I got older, like middle school playing, I gravitated to the outfield. I just like you got all this area. You can just be talking to somebody on the fence. Hey, what you doing out the game? I don't know. Boo! Oh. You that time to go catch the fly pop. Rather, as you in the infield, you got to be on your toes. You got to be that infield. Once you got the middle school, they start smoking them ball like boo boo, hitting you in the chest, and you like, I'm
out.
Right, I'm straight. Y'all can have all this hot shot in the infield. Got to make the perfect throw. I'm gonna go to the outfield. Well, all I got to do is throw in the area of you. It don't got to be perfect.
Hit your cutoff or hit someone close.
Right. Yeah. You look like you're doing the best job in the world as long as you get the cutoff and don't let the ball get behind you. You the best outfielder in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then make a couple plays like the dive and stuff. So that became my love, just the outfield after that.
Nice. So for football, where were you at?
Sheesh. So I grew up a chubby chaser. I was chubby myself, a little chubby chaser. So until about 9th grade, I just lost a lot of weight. I joined the swim team for a whole year. I did like swimming in 8th grade, middle school. Then the summer, I also did join the swim team for like 9 months straight. I swam and I lost like 50 pounds. And I was skinny. It was crazy. I went back to school the next year, getting attention from women. From girls, and they were just like, "Oh wait, oh snap, oh, I'm on the market." Hey, from being the state in the meat market in the back, I went to the front of the line. I was like, "Hey, this is a different lifestyle." But yeah, so growing up, I played every position on the line. I played center because I was the only one on our team that could hike. You get out the ball and block well. So I played center. It's funny. So I grew up playing offensive line and linebacker on defense growing up. And then once I got to high school, I couldn't play line no more. I could not play linebacker no more either. So I tried to go out to they called it like pony, where you do play, it's like linebacker slash defensive back, where you do play some coverage. And I was like, that was the worst feeling where I am not about to get burnt for no touchdown. I'm not about to miss a tackle in open field, like playing corner on that island or whatever. That I couldn't do it. So
Ask you to be Micah Parsons out there, man.
Right. Basically, it's like, I could put my hand in dirt, but then I was too small then getting pancake. So I had to go to receiver and quickly learn receiver. And it was cool. I could run a route. I was not fast at all. So I guess I was like a Hunter Renfro. I can run a route. I can get open eventually, but it's not going to be quickly. I'll get up eventually, but I just don't have the hands, man. Just don't have the hands, man. If you throwing it fast like lightning, I'm not going to catch it. You got to finesse it to me. I can't be 10 feet away from you. You still trying to put all your might into it. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. So I just, around that time of high school, I just kind of love the game, enjoy what I'm doing, enjoy my teammates. And, that's what it became in high school, and really groomed me like, hey, I know you wanted to go to the NFL, but you need to figure something out. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So did you find yourself really thriving in that team environment? Like for myself growing up, I played hockey for 14 years, and it was just I wouldn't be the person I am today if I'd not gone through that experience, team building and all that stuff. Like around here, it's not a big area. A lot of the guys, and you come up with the same guys coming up and everything. And it's just, it really does build you as a young human, as a young man growing up. But would you say that had a profound impact on you?
Yeah. Just as far as like the coaches, you meet their coaches, but hell, we can even just take the word off coaches and put mentor on there, because they're damn near your mentor. Even if they don't coach you no more, you see them, they're going to ask you questions, give you like, okay, you need to do this, help you out. So they're been like mentors, So, of course, some of the coaches have stuck with me throughout a long time. And, some of them, like Little League, stuck with me until I went up to high school and I met some other coaches. And they were just showing me the ropes of getting ready for college, teaching me about the college life, helping me understand who I am and what I bring to the team, and just being real with you and your situation. So yeah, it really built and molded me to the person I am, and unfortunately, it really builds and molds jocks as well. Like, we are responsible. I don't want to use the word so we are responsible, but we are somewhat responsible for how athletes carry themselves. Because growing up, if you're a star on the team, you can get away with a lot. And even in high school, you start a team, the whole county know your name, you can get away with a lot. Then you go to college. They're trying to sweep some of your stuff under the rug, same in the NFL. So we are responsible for basically saying, if you the best or one of the best on the field and you produce in a sport and you make a name for yourself somewhat, some things can get swept by just to help protect you and your image so you can make it out and, become something, instead of let some of the student athletes get slapped on the wrist a couple times to understand, like, hey, this can really damage you if you was older. This could really hurt you, so they can learn from it. So, Yeah, it's good or bad side to it.
Absolutely, yeah. There's not one without the other. We'd be lying to ourselves if we said there was. On a more serious note, not that that wasn't serious towards the end there. Uh, Javar, the people need to know why, in your opinion, are there so few minority content creators? When you take a look at the fantasy football industry, there are so few Black, Latino, Asian, female content creators. In your opinion, what are the barriers that are preventing more equity within this space?
Well, for one, a lot of people that just don't have the time or resources to do it or learn how to do it. On out before I started podcasting, on the outside looking in, I thought it was a whole lot, and it's just like, no, just get a computer and record,
Real.
and promote it and interact and network. Whereas other people don't know that. I never knew about this fantasy football community until 3 years ago. And on Twitter, I never knew it was that large or that big, or else I would have been on there interacting with people, asking them starts and sits, and just picking people brains. And that's the one reason we started our fantasy football podcast, where all three of us went to the same high school, grew up in the same county, and we have home leagues with friends. And eventually some people grew away from fantasy, but it just stuck with us. And we were like, man, people tired of me talking to them about fantasy. And I was like, yeah, I can talk about it all day long. Let's start a podcast, and we started from right there. But that's one of the major reasons is time, money, and resources. So and just networking, the people within your crew, the people you talk to daily, they don't really know anything about podcasting. But if you had another inner circle, whereas with people that have more money and resources and time and opportunity to branch out and do things, you may hear about how to podcast, or content creator, and things of that nature. And another thing, growing up, it's on the TV. What you see is what you believe in. And if you don't see a person like you doing this, or whatever they portray on TV, if you don't see a person doing that in your brain, it just comes to your brain like, oh, we're people who don't do that. That's not what we're meant for. Because I, for one, study marine science, and that's the study of all bodies of water as my undergrad. And I am the 10%, maybe the 5% in that. I went to a historical Black college where the majority of students are Black. In the marine science program, I was the minority. So that just goes to show you how much it is. And then it's just also being comfortable. We grew up our whole life around Black people of color that we used to interacting with. It's kind of scary and uncomfortable for people to be in an environment where they're the minority, because they haven't interacted with people, and they don't really know how to interact, and they're just I don't know how to say it, just scared or uncomfortable in that situation. And that's unfortunate, but I think that's just how it is.
Yeah, those are all really good points, and especially the part you brought up towards the end there about the representation, seeing people that are doing this, and like I said, there's so kind of few and far between in a very saturated market of this fantasy football sphere, that it kind of makes you jump out in a certain way. Like when I first came across you guys, is like, I've been glued to you guys lately. You have a fantastic podcast, and you can tell there's that natural chemistry between you guys. And so when you're saying, you guys all came up through high school together, that is not shocking in the slightest to me, because if you watch an episode or two of yours, it's instant that the chemistry is there between you guys. You're joking around and everything, and it's great viewing, and I want more of that. I think that there's probably so many voices out there that are, oh, no, it's all good. There are so many voices out there that we are not hearing, voices, opinions, and they probably got better fucking points than a lot of these people. that we're hearing out there at this time. So it's like, how, I don't know, how do we change that?
Yeah, man, it's
How do we
just
help that?
like you said, the representation and just trying, and one point is just not being scared to fail, or just be the person to break barriers and believe that we're all equal and we all can do the same thing. And I just fortunately grew up in a couple environments where I was comfortable over just being a minority, and it didn't matter to me, as long as all the vibes were the same and everybody wanted, the energy was on the same and everybody wanted to help each other, then everything is cool. I don't care, color, shape, size. I don't care as long as we're on the same vibes and we're just trying to keep the same energy, help each other. I just, more personally, I grew up a believer of just being a part of the community, doing my part to keep everything going well, and that went as far as what I wanted to do is in life. I just wanted to use my tools, my resource. I want to get paid a healthy amount, but I also wanted to use whatever I'm doing is helping the environment or people directly or indirectly. And then I still get paid for it, and the money that I'm getting, I still be able to help others, but it just feels like, I really deserve this because I'm also doing this to help the environment to be here years after we're gone, and also to help build sustainable environments for like less flooding in areas and things of like that nature, and also help people and the community. So yeah, that's just, unfortunately the world is not that, but that's where it needs to be.
No, absolutely. And I would like you to explain to listeners exactly what degree or program you're working towards here. I know it's marine sciences or marine biology.
I got my undergrad in marine science, and then I got master's working on, it was in the agricultural department, but I was using GIS and remote sensing technologies to map out wetlands and basically show which wetlands are more vulnerable than others. So the government, just to create a plan, so if the government wanted to use this plan to conserve wetlands, they'll know where to start first, due to like a wetland being close to a major road or high climate change over time, and community urban areas. And now I'm in the geography department at the University of Alabama. Roll Tide, December 4th. We're gonna see you dogs. All right, and I'm just I'm getting my PhD, learning how to utilize GIS and remote sensing techniques to measure water levels and water quality of lakes in East Africa. They have a huge problem with their lakes, and a lot of people in that area use these lakes, as far as washing clothes or food, or almost anything you could think of. They're using this lake in some way, and it a lot of people need this lake. So that's the real reason why I'm trying to map it out. So if they know these water qualities are going bad, they can stop people from going to use it and save a couple lives of people getting sick and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. So what's the eventual end game for this? What's the kind of position that you're looking to do and ultimately, make your stake at, helping out the community and helping out the world for our children's generation and after?
For first, I'm just gonna be real cut and dry real. I come from almost nothing, so for the first 8 years, and I've just been in school ever since I left high school, basically. I worked for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife for a couple of years, but basically I've been in school since I left high school. I'm going to go wherever the money resides for the first 8 years for sure. And then after that, I want to try to go to university or college. It could be a HBCU or smaller university or college, and just teach my tools to those students, and because we're going toward technology, and if you're not with the technology, somehow you're going to get lost. And I feel like that's more of the work field. You got to learn how to use a tool. As far as like, for example, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. A lot of people can learn how to go to which area to fish for what type of fish and do things of that nature. But can you run the tool on the boat? Say if it's a different type of boat that nobody knows how to run, that's what you need to, try to learn that tool that a lot of people don't know. So when you get out of college or whatever, your resume will be more packed, and somebody will want you rather than just learning everything in the book. You need to learn the tool. And that's the real reason why I went to grad school. I wanted to learn the tool of GIS and remote sensing. That's where the world is headed, using these tools. And that's why I'm here today, to learn how to use those tools so I can help the world in any way I can, and also make some monies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's get a little lighter here. Talk to me about the SportsMe app. Now, I've been slowly discovering how to make my mark on there, as I see some ridiculous potential within the format of the app itself. You're also on there. So tell me, how do you think an app like this could become a fundamental form of direct face-to-face fan communication?
Man, it's it can become the face, just because like Snapchat, it's similar to Snapchat, but just sports talk, and it just really cuts out a lot of the children, and where it's just grown men with their opinions on there mainly, and women as well. And it's very interactive, where you can go in there. It's a SportsMe app, but you can go in there and talk almost anything on there. I started off on social media. I usually just talk about fantasy football, but on SportsMe, I branched it out and just opened up. I seem to get more interaction when it's not about fantasy football, where it's just talking about regular sports talk, like who's in your top 5. I like to go sometimes, like I like to go by era. Like in my era, I really enjoy watching Emmitt Smith run the football. Who did you love watching running football? Somebody else might be like, come in and be like, oh, I love watching OJ. You got to put him on there. You got to love watching OJ. And it was like, oh, that was before my time. I wish I could have. And, they're like, how could you leave out one of the greatest from Detroit, Barry Sanders? I'm like, I got to watch 10 games of that. And then, I was so young before. So, it's like, yes, he was the great, but it wasn't during my time. So I just like those type of debates, and more so just interacting. And it's an easy and quick way to learn information from some other person or their perspective on something so quickly, just from going through the app. So that's one of the parts I love from it, and your networking as well.
No, absolutely. I think it's got a good little user base going, and with more, it could be pretty insane on there. I think, just getting like whole fan bases of teams on there. You got a guy like Drunken Monkey just leading the way for the Eagles. You can you imagine 100 of him on there? Just not exactly. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like you see how kind of rabid fan bases get on Twitter. Can you imagine that kind of thing? But that's the thing I love about SportsMe app, is that it's face to face. You got to stand behind your shit. You're putting your face out there, and there's no bullshit. Yeah, there's no hiding. I mean, there was that one thing with that sugar skull mask thing or whatever, scared the shit out of me first time I heard it, but it's direct, and that's what I love. It's direct, it's uncut, it's uncensored, it's like the Smoke Show. It's just bald fucking honesty, and you get some great opinions on there. And like you said, you nailed it. It's about perspectives, and it provides that, and that's kind of the whole ethos of the Smoke Show as well. So it's once I got in my hooks in there, I was like, okay, yeah, this shit's for me. Yes, sir. But bring it back to Atlanta. Now, recently, star wide receiver and 2020 Smoke Show my guy, Calvin Ridley, announced that he would be stepping away from football this time to focus on his mental well-being. Now, listeners of this show know how important of a topic mental health is for me personally, as I deal with my own mental health issues, and I've dedicated entire episodes to it. Calvin isn't the first player this season to take time away to deal with mental health issues within the NFL, within other sports as well. Carey Price of the NHL recently stepped away from the game for a bit to, take care of his stuff. He had some addiction issues as well, but I could not be more proud of the courage it took to publicly make these decisions. Javar, my question for you is, are we to expect this to become the norm? These issues have always been there, but the ability to be forthcoming about them and honest with both themselves and the public hasn't. But as these barriers and stigmas are broken and chip away at further, are we to expect more of this? Could this be an agent of change within toxic masculine sports culture as a whole?
Yes, it should. And I'm loving it. His first step up. We then had the tight end, Hayden Hurst. He had his own special about his mental issues. And I loved a lot of people coming out. Even Kevin Love in basketball, he came out about his issues. So I'm loving it that more men are coming out and showing these sides of them that they don't usually.
It's all good, man. We love kids.
She in here jumping off the chair onto the couch right now. But
all good. Her first smoke show appearance.
Yeah, man, and because you grew up your whole life as a man, like you can't break one, like can nobody even see you cry? You're like, I can't even cry, so I gotta hold that in, So it's just I love seeing when men show emotion and just show feelings and show that they need to work on things, and it just help other men realize that you're human yourself. You have feelings that you need to touch on, and you have boundaries that you need others to respect, that you need to let them know. So big ups to Calvin Ridley. As much as I want to see him play as a Falcons fan, as much as I want to see him play as a person who has a lot of Calvin Ridley shares in fantasy football, man, take care of yourself, get your mental right so we can have you here for even longer. I don't want you or anybody personally getting kicked out the lead and then keep getting let back in. I don't want to throw nobody out there, but we all know the wide receiver, Gordon, who's had his fair share of problems. I really just deal with that, attack it in one moment and get through it. So yeah, big ups to Calvin Ridley, man. It's like I said, as much as I want to see him play, and as many shares if I have a Calvin Ridley in fantasy football, it's not funny. I didn't notice I had as many Calvin Ridley shares until he went out the first game when they went to London. And
yeah.
When he was out that game, I was like, wait, I got him in this league too. I had him like out of 8 leagues, I got him like 4 or 5. And at that moment, I was like, I gotta share some of them. I told my friend, like, I gotta trade some of my Calvin Ridley shit. I was like, why would you do that? That's such a great problem to have. And I was like, if he goes out or anything happened, I'll be down in 4 leagues. And then 3 weeks later, it happened. 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, it happened. So yeah, diversify. Your shit.
Did you end up getting rid of any?
No, not quite, man.
Shit.
I was close. I was close to Calvin Ridley. It was a Calvin Ridley worked around Calvin Ridley and Saquon Barkley trade. That's what I was close to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that for either side, really. Once the news came out that he was stepping away, I definitely threw some 2022 first rounders up for him. I love Ridley. I love that he's done this. What's that? Sorry?
Did anybody bite? Debate?
Not yet. There's been some talks, but I'm buying Ridley anywhere. No, I don't. If he comes back this year, fantastic for him. But like you say, get your mentals right, man. That is so much more important than anything you're going to be experiencing on the field. And you come back stronger from this, and you can be a help to your teammates, and they're all going to understand, man. You're their boy. So like, what? It's.
I'm not gonna act like I just seen and knew something was up, but so far this season, Calvin really haven't looked at. He dropped a lot of passes, uncharacteristic. of himself this year. And I was like, why is Calvin dropping passes? Then when this came out in the end, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it was bad when he couldn't really focus because it was someone hitting him right in the hands, just boom, boom. I'm like, Calvin, my boy, what's up? So, yeah, and it reflect on the field too. So it's a real issue.
100%. And just like a injury to your hamstring can hamper you on the field in a physically visible manner. All right. Well, I'm not really sure where I was mid-thought on that, folks, but my big dumb knee hit the reset button on my PC, so we're just gonna put that last part out, which will not even exist to you, so you don't know what I'm talking about. So let's just move on to the next question here.
Okay.
Let's end this off with a prediction, Javar. The people need to know who makes it to the NFC and AFC conference championship games, and who goes on to win it all.
See, at the beginning of the year, I went a repeat. I just said it's gonna be a repeat of last year. Mid-season, after seeing what the Rams done did, it's gonna be Rams and the Bucks. And I can't tell you who's gonna win it. It's gonna depend on. Because I know we look at the Bucks are struggling right now, but they're down a lot of their cornerbacks, a lot of pieces on the defense. So they're going to struggle. But they're still winning games, still winning their division, and still have a chance to have a healthy team when it comes playoffs. So with the Bucks having a healthy team come playoffs and playing the Rams, it's a 50-50 draw to me. I cannot call it. But because you put the head coaches up against each other, you know, Aaron's been doing it longer, but McVay's resume is short, but it is thick and packed, okay? So, you know, you can't lean which way when you got the coaching decision. And the quarterback, you know, you got to go over Matt Stafford. Cool, okay, I give you that. Okay, I give you the GOAT. The wide receivers, they about the same. You know,
Yep.
O-line could be better for the Rams. I'm not sure. I don't know O-line like that, so I'm not even going to put the O-line. Then you got the running game, about the same. D-line, we're going to have to go with the Rams. They got Stu still out there, I think. Then they just got Von Miller, and then we already know they got the great Donald. So I'm just going to go to their side. Linebackers, we can go with the Bucks. Secondary, we got to go with the Rams. So it's going to be evenly matched, man. It's going to be a great game, and I cannot wait to see it. If the NFL do, you know how people, the NFL rig games, anything. If the NFL do rig anything, it better be the Rams against the Bucks, and just let that game play out. Don't rig that game. Just get them there. Do not. What was the big call with the Rams against the Saints? And you know the cornerback. What was that? He got held. Something happened. Yeah.
No, too true. Okay, so out of that NFC championship game, who wins? I agree, very even match out of those two teams. So who comes out?
I'm gonna say. I don't know if it messed up. I'm back. I was saying it's the person who has the ball last. If I can see who has the ball last,
yeah,
I go. Brady got the ball last. You already know what time it is.
Yeah, but absolutely.
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that might have been my internet messing up then. But yeah, Steph got the ball last. I believe in that team as well. So I definitely believe it's gonna be who has the ball last, or who defense is healthier and plays the best.
I think that's what it's going to come down to, honestly, is health. Because as we've seen this season, the Reaper has no qualms about going after anyone, man. He's out there taking fucking heads, kids. He's taking heads.
Look, the fantasy. I like to call this year is not the Grim Reaper. It's the fantasy stud Grim Reaper. He just the top running back in the league.
For real, man.
Nope. No, you cannot have nice things this year, okay? No, there are no
Hell
nice
no, man.
things this year. All right. Russell Wilson? Nope. So yeah, I totally agree. On the other side, I feel like the way the Chiefs playing, that's pretty much open, man. Maybe the Bills can change some things around this year, but I don't know. They win the games they supposed to win, and they lose the game they supposed to win by a little bit. So
how the hell are they gonna be losing to Jacksonville, man? Like, come on, you can't even get a fucking touchdown against an Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jay. Like, fuck, man.
You score 30 points a game. You telling me? You telling me you can't look up in one? It is not one play call on that list that will work.
Right? You're getting outsmarted by Urban Meyer.
Look, I know what happened.
That haunts you.
This is what happened. So the coach was looking at the play sheet. He was like, okay, this is a good play for Josh Allen. But he forgot he was calling the plays for the other Josh Allen on the other side of the field. He might have won player of the month. Josh Allen, the defender for the Jacksonville Jaguars, might have won player of the month off of one game. He had like INT and a fumble and a recovery, all that type, like off of one game. So, yeah, man,
that's a hat trick, man.
Right. So that's why I'm scared to put the Bills in there. The way
their defense is legit, but their offense has got to figure out their fucking thing, man.
Oh snap! I'm tripping. I just X'd out the Cardinals. So yeah, it's pretty much wide open right now. I believe in the Cardinals. So that's the three teams at the NFC. It's the Cardinals, the Rams, and Tampa Bay. I believe that's the cream of the crop right there. I feel like I might be leaving out somebody, but that's for sure the cream of the crop. Then AFC, man, it's pretty much to me. It's pretty much open until KC get things turned around. And yesterday it looked like they turned things around. I never seen Mahomes target the running back that many times. So it looked like they put in Mahomes' head. As soon as you drop back, if it's this many defenders down, hit your running back. As soon as he dropped back and he's seen it, he ain't hesitate to hit his running back. And if that's part of the new game plan, then I'm all for it because the running back was getting 3 yards of pop off that. and that's a good, and that's basically your run game almost damn near. So if that's the new thing moving forward, then I feel confident about the Chiefs reclaiming the AFC. But other than that, the Bills will have something to say. I feel like I'm forgetting a team. Am I forgetting a team that's been doing good?
How about the Ravens? What do you think about Lamar and the Ravens?
Man.
Don't break my heart here, Javar. Don't break my heart.
I want to believe it because I've been looking at the stats. Last year, he averaged around like no more than 25 throws a game or 25. This year, he done threw like 40 times a game, a couple, and he's north of 30 per game. So I'm loving it. They believing in that. That shows you Lamar's growing as a quarterback, and to that point, that I had a couple comeback games. So
double-digit comebacks so far this year.
Right, and what was the major downfall for the Rams? If they get behind, they will not come back. Yep. So I'm glad you brought that up. I love Lamar Jackson. I love what he done as a player, a person, and the adversity he done went through, play wide receiver, play this, and you say, no, I'm a quarterback. I can learn and I can grow, and that's just part of believing in yourself, and it's beautiful when it just comes true. Now, I don't even know if he ain't got signed yet. Now he about to be the man. When they about to pull the Brinks truck. So, yeah, I love what the Rams have going. Hey, for real. So I love what the Rams going. Yep. I said the Rams, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Yeah, I could put that as the last game going down, and that'd be lovely, man. That would be lovely.
Both teams have figured it out by this point to get to this point. So yeah, they're firing on all pistons, man. Oh, I would love it.
No disrespect to Aaron Rodgers, but the organization just If they would have brought in another wide receiver, I could have put you in there. But man, in the playoffs, they're gonna try to take away Adams, and hey, yeah. So that's why I can't just put him up in there, man.
No, absolutely. I don't hate that at all. Do you think, while we're on the topic of the Packers, that they should have offered more than the veteran minimum that was rumored to come out for OBJ?
They should have did, yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially if you want Aaron Rodgers. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is not, that in an organization, then I guess go for what. But if you're Aaron Rodgers and you wanted to keep him there, I think the move was to bring OBJ and show that you're at least trying, because I understand Aaron Rodgers. It's time to go when it's time to go. Not to bring LeBron in here, but a lot of people give LeBron heat, but like he gave that organization 8 good years, and the best player he had that they could bring in was Shaq out of his prime.
Thank you.
Thank
you, man. They didn't do shit to build around him. What do you think he's gonna do? There's only so long that he can put all these fucking Jags on his back. Like these guys that should be riding the bench. He just took that whole bench and put it on his broad ass shoulders and drugged those guys to the playoffs and everything. And they did nothing. So
how far did they get Iverson in his career? Charles Barkley. Do I need to go on? How far did they get you in your career? I mean, I didn't like the way he left it. Like, yeah, I'm going to Miami, it's party and all that. I understand that. And how and a lot of people ran how the NBA, he changed the NBA. I love it. Like, why would you give an organization all your good years and they're just making money off of you and your name, but they're not helping you build a team so you can win the championship. So take it upon yourself. You know what I'm saying? You are in NBA more so than any sport. You are a market. Your face is prime time on this. This is you. This is your market. Like you can do what you please, right? Do what you please with your market. These organizations have held power over players' markets for years, and now that it's coming out of their control. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. It's switched up. The NBA and the game is different. So, kudos for LeBron making that big step, changing the game and just going for what he know and what he believe is better for him and his career and his family. And yeah, man. So back to Green Bay, they should have did what's best for that organization and paid Aaron Rodgers. But to that sense, Green Bay organization is more of a diva than the quarterbacks that I had. How do you let Brett Favre leave and then make it to the NFC Championship and almost make it to the Super Bowl? Like, how you let somebody leave? You had Aaron Rodgers, cool. I understand. All right, cool. So it's not that bad, but you already let one of the greatest quarterbacks leave when he still has some gas in the tank. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to let Aaron Rodgers leave.
It's not like Jordan Love waiting in the wings as Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Right. We've seen it. We've seen it. I seen the game. I'm like, nah, he look like Justin Fields and Wilson from the Jets out there. He look a little he look like a rookie quarterback, even though it's his second season. Like he ain't ready right now. Like y'all, yep, they've really about to mess it up. Like the Bears, they fired Lovie Smith after they didn't make the playoffs and they had a winning season. And I told my friend who's a Bears fan, I said, all right, man, this is going to be like 10 years of turmoil for you. Your organization don't know what they're doing. They fired the best thing they had for no reason because they didn't make the playoffs. Obviously, it was better teams this year, the last couple of years. So, yeah.
Yes, but I completely agree. They should have made a play for OBJ. I don't think that there's a hope in hell. I mean, even if you see Rodgers somehow put this team on his back with Davante, with, Aaron Jones when he comes back from injury, but, roll Quadzilla out there till the meantime. But if somehow he pulls off this miraculous end of the season, drags the Packers through the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl, and if for some reason he was able to pull that off, I honestly think and was able to, he could retire right off into the sunset as a Green Bay Packer, but I don't think a guy like Aaron Rodgers could do that. I think he's going to be one of these guys who's going to end his career in a different uniform, a la, even with my boys, Emmitt Smith. To see him in an Arizona Cardinal jersey is just weird, but these things happen. These athletes either don't know when to call it quits, but like you don't really need to call it quits when you are still a top level performer. So I don't think that even if Rodgers was able to drag Green Bay to the Super Bowl and win it, I don't think he plays another game as a Packer after that. I think he's gone regardless.
I think it's just stretched in within that organization right now, and from how you seen how they dealt with Brett Favre's situation, Green Bay it's all about Green Bay. They won all the Lombardi, the trophy name out of one of their coaches. So how they're divas themselves. So like you do all this, I don't care. We're still gonna make money. We're still somewhat the face of the NFL. So they're not worried. They're fine with having a couple down years and figuring things out. So yes, it's an organization how we work, but more so as a fan base, you always want to win. That's where it hurts the most with the fan base. Not understanding, as a fan base, you'll get it all into the contracts and the money situation and the chemistry in the locker room. You just won't win. So if all that is not flowing right, then I understand they got to get things together.
Yeah, I don't predict good things for the Packers fans over the next couple seasons. That's for fucking sure. Actually, one more sidebar while we're still on the subject here, because it makes me curious here. If Rodgers moves on, it's almost a certainty that Davante Adams is going to move on. He's not even going to bother doing contract talks with Green Bay to re-sign there. Do you think they go as a package somewhere?
Man, why not? Like, but where's a place that would need a package like that?
That's the thing. It's very limited.
Right, because Denver doesn't need a package like that unless they somehow get rid of Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
What about a place like Washington?
Now that's the best fit right there. They got a great head coach, who's been there, done it. He has, I think he's like somewhat of the GM, like he has a lot of
he's got say.
You're right. He got a lot of pull of what's going on with the team. So that would be perfect. Their defense is young. They got some young studs. And Chase Young just got hurt. So they should have another draft hot pick. And they have cap space. So you might be on to something right there. Yeah.
Man, you imagine Davante Adams lining up on the other side of fucking Terry McLaurin with Rodgers throwing to them? I mean, come on, man. Like, that'd be fucking insane. As a Cowboys fan, I would absolutely hate this move. But I gotta say, as a football fan, shit, man.
As a Cowboy fan, so he can go to the Eagles or Washington.
Get the hell out of here with that Eagles shit.
Or Eagles,
but
Eagles or Washington. Think about it. They don't really have a quarterback and wide receiver situation locked, so he can go to either of those organizations. As a Falcons fan, I would hate to see it, but Carolina, they don't have a quarterback position locked. I think DJ Moore is coming up on his last year or so contract. They can cut Robbie Anderson. That didn't drop of a dime. So
wouldn't change a thing.
Right. And Matt Rule, he really wants to air the football out. And with Aaron Rodgers, you can really see his playbook come to life. So I wouldn't mind somewhere, or the Saints. Good night. No, do not come to my division. We already got Tom Brady. Okay. Can you imagine a Falcons fan losing Drew Brees, just to get Tom Brady? Like, we just lost Drew Brees at our conference. Can Matt Ryan live? No, you got to bring in Tom to go now.
Well, Tom Brady's probably only got another good 10, 15 years left. So, I mean, you don't got too much longer to worry about him. But
every time we're like, Tom Brady is about to be done. Next thing you know, I'm going to shut up. Tom Brady is down when he's done.
Yeah, fucker's immortal, and yeah, when I see that ink on the paper of retirement process, I will believe it. But till
Right.
then,
It's
he's fucking there.
it's not a Manning situation where you see the decline in the arm strength or whatever. You just clearly see it. It's
that
not that
last season was brutal.
Right. So it's not that situation. You just like, when does he want to go play golf or something?
No doubt. All right, so let's wrap that question up right there. So let's say the Rams are coming out. You kind of lean towards them in the NFC, and let's say Chiefs pull their shit together and come out. Chiefs versus Rams in the Super Bowl. Who you got?
Man, going to let Matthew Stafford get it, man. I'm gonna be rooting for the Rams. Rams. As you see, Mahomes is gonna be in the dance a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be in the dance a lot. So, Matthew Stafford, he's. I don't want him to be the Phillip Rivers quarterback. The Phillip Rivers, he did all these accolades, but he didn't win the big game and ever. And Matthew Stafford deserves, to win the big game. All he went through at Detroit, all the back talk about him. So I can enjoy watching Matthew Stafford hold up the trophy at the end of the year because the Falcons, ain't doing too great. But other than that, yeah.
I love that call. I would love to see Stafford raise it up. And
can you imagine Ramsey talking shit after the Super Bowl?
Oh my God! It would be endless. It'd be endless. Deion Sanders himself would step down and be like, "Yo, man, maybe a bit much."
Right. We thought Richard Sherman was some, but things he be saying on the mic, you'd be like, "Yo, no filter, my dog." I hate you lined up across from him.
He'd be crumbling Revis Island, and he would be the new island, man. Like there'd be no touching Ramsey and shit after this.
I love it. I love watching him play, man. He's not a defender. He come up and try to lay that wood on somebody too. So that man, it's been fun. It's not too many defenses like the Rams you see, or like the Bucks from last year you see come up and really hitting you in the mouth like the old school Ravens and Steelers. So I enjoy watching that when you can see it nowadays.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, what's better than seeing a guy just all out, just trucking and pancaking a motherfucker, man? It's like George Kittle out there when he hits a guy. You get enraptured by that. I mean, me personally, that jacks me the fuck up more than a pot of coffee. I swear to God. But it's awesome, like you said, to see that kind of old school brand of smash mouth football out there. It's a good thing. Yeah, damn, that was a good long-winded question right there. I think we've hit it, man. Well, once I edit out that little blip there, we should be right at the hour mark. So let's tie a bow on this, man. I gotta say how happy I am to have finally gotten you on here, man. I've been wanting to get you on for a while, and I think this was a really good conversation. We hit a lot of really good real shit.
Thanks. I appreciate you for welcoming me on. As a fantasy analyst or content creator, it's not a lot of opportunities where you get just, sit back and just be able to express yourself from answering questions or your responses to questions. And a lot of people can learn a lot about me just from watching your show. So I really appreciate you having me here and having me on, man. It was just great talking. We're definitely going to collaborate some more, especially after the season.
I would absolutely love that, and it would be my honor as it was today to have you on, man. It was fantastic. But with that, I think we've hit the end here, folks. Let's see, whatever you got to plug out there, man. Take however much time you need. Let the people know where they can find you and what you got.
You can find me on Twitter right here at JavarInSession. You can find the podcast I'm a part of. Just take away Javar and put fantasy letter in session on Twitter. From there, once you get our Twitter, you can find us on YouTube. We have a web page where we do rankings. We have our huge league. It's called the Session Takeover, and every year we started last year. It's short story. It basically started because we didn't get into the Scott Fish Bowl last year. And so it was like we was just talking junk. Like, he don't want to sit in there because he know we gonna win it. He know what's up. He don't want to sit in there. And now 2 out of 3 of us, we in there this year, and we're doing horrible. One of us is doing so talking all that. So people told us to draft a good quarterback, and we didn't. So I got Mahomes, but I also got like Jameis Winston. No, I don't. That's another league. So I got like Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, and the rookie quarterback from the Jaguars. So my season is going horrible. But yeah, so it's a Black Lives Matter league that we started just promote, just so people could talk about it, see what's going on, and educate the world of what's going on. And also we donate over half of the proceeds to a Black Lives Matter organization. Not necessarily it's not necessarily a Black Lives Matter organization, but the people within the tournament voted on where we would like to donate the money to. It was one of them was like a program that helps educate the police. There was another program to help with voting, another program to help with backpack situation of after schools. I believe we went with the one to help minority people with like backpack programs, I believe, but I have to second guess. So yeah, also check that out. That's on the website. The first year we did 48 people. This year we did 96 people. And next year we're trying to up it to I don't know the correct number, maybe like around 140. And so we can donate. A lot of people network, a lot of people enjoy it, and that's our biggest accomplishment. Never in a day of my life I thought I'd have a platform that I would be able to use and help to a cause. And it's not just me, it's everybody who's a part of the tournament, because it's their money that is going to this cause. We appreciate you. But yeah, find us on FantasyInSession. We call ourselves the podcast for the culture, So we here, man. Ask us any questions, start sits during the show, after the show, we answer them. We just want to help people and reach people and teach people.
Well, they definitely got the smoky seal of approval. Like I said, I've been in on these guys for a hot minute now, and I'm finally glad to say I have had you on the Smoke Show as a feature interview, man. This podcast, buddy. This podcast has been presented by the Fantasy Points Media Group. My name is Josh Smokey Hell Nelson, and I thank you for joining us. Javar, all I got left to say is, where there's smoke,
there's fire.
Woo! Love it, man. Love it.